Hello, tubes. Lord Crocker Squirrel here with Ms. Anthrope,
Hello, everybody.
and we're here to have a chat just about some goings on over the weekend. In case you've been hiding under a rock, NeoGAF has gone down. It spent more than 24 hours throwing a 503 error, and now it's running. And now we're getting a bad gateway out of it. So I'm guessing before too awful damn long, we're going to start getting a 404 out of it. So we Ms. Thrope over here has a
Yeah.
prepared statement before we actually start the conversation. Go for it.
So, since we are going to talk about the NeoGAF debacle, we want to make a disclaimer before we proceed. We are dealing with alleged accusations, so we are not making any judgments on whether it was true or not. What we want to say is how a website that prided itself with its SJW anti-Gamergate stance thought they wouldn't get beaten back by their own audience, as it happened.
Okay. So here's the thing: the average SJW seems to think that anything that might offend, I don't know, women, people of color, trans people, etc., is absolutely verboten 100% of the time. And if you do these things, they yell at you a lot. Well, it would seem that our little buddy at NeoGAF, or also known as Evilor or Tyler Malka, was accused on Facebook on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week as part of the Me Too hashtag. Uh, she decided the nice young lady decided to come forward and tell a really interesting little narrative. Uh, the net result of this narrative, of course, is that people suddenly started seeing Mr. Malka as officially not okay. Now, Mr. Malka owns a website that has been known since yonks ago for being thoroughly infested with social justice to the point where it takes a year to get an account, sometimes longer. I still don't have one. Haha. I asked for one, didn't get one. Now I'm kind of glad. Because I really all I wanted to do was go in there and spy on them anyway. So Mr. Malka is suddenly not okay with the people that are on his website, the people who've been policing his website, and we had more than half the moderators and all of the administrators, with the exception of Malka himself, just vanish. Poof. They're got. We don't know exactly if some of them were canned or they left, but all of a sudden there's a lot of people that used to be in the upper echelons over there that are really supportive of Gamergate for no reason I can determine. Could it be they're trying to distance
Uh,
themselves?
there's the thing. The SJWs, they have this kind of attitude of distancing themselves from anything that may remotely offend them, but they are not bothering to even fact check if it actually happened. Apparently, it might have happened, but the level of judgment that yes, there is that thing about being so cold on the moral high ground.
Yep.
Uh, when you get to be the jury, the judge, and the executioner, you live a kind of closed-minded life.
Well, this actually gets better because he didn't expect he trained a huge community, and he was one of that, and NeoGAF was one of the biggest gaming journalism websites out there. He trained his entire community, the entire community on his forums. He trained them. He told them by means of judicious banning or other censorship that if you didn't toe the line, you were gone, and the people that were there, regardless of their actual opinions, towed the line because they wanted to be in on all the good leaks and shit. Okay, see, therein lies the problem. If you train your people to do it to attack folks on nothing more than on an allegation that may not even have happened, or they may not have even been in the same state as what happened, then what you're going to get that's what you're going to get. The second something about you comes out that you couldn't get a lid on quickly enough, you're toast. And Mr. Malka's learning that, and Mr. Malka's been learning that little lesson right there. It's actually really, it's hilarious watching NeoGAF burn by means of its own architecture. You build a thing a certain way, and then when you violate that certain direction, you watch it catch fire and explode. I don't know about you, but I know the Gamergate. I know all of the Gamergate folks on Twitter. Yeah, we've all been hanging out there, talking back and forth about this thing, putting up various screenshots and such, and roasting marshmallows and hot dogs over the freaking fire that is NeoGAF.
Yeah, it's a natural response because, as I mentioned, their stance was completely the anti the gamers that identified with one side of the Gamergate, and that was not their narrative. So passing judgment on people is very easy.
Living with the consequences, that's quite a bit more difficult.
Yeah, exactly. But when you start passing judgments on people, you must remember that people will judge you back.
And the fun part of it is we all have long memories. It's been 3 years since Gamergate started, and the time when it kind of started tapering off is actually coming up the early part of next year. Okay, it was Gamergate, in fact, that prompted me to release my first video. All those articles that came out back in 2014. I spent my birthday putting together a video to upload for you guys. You can go all the way back to September the 1st, 2014, and see the story. Tabby is actually is talking about how the gaming journals bit hands. Well, NeoGAF was a primary driver of that incident, and as a result, was while mostly spared by Gamergate, generally disliked in the extreme. And after Gamergate started, it only got worse. You know, you trained your people just like Satan had told you to, and then then when you kick somebody in the ass, you weren't expecting the teeth, were you, there, buddy?
Also, there's that thing. They are directly responsible for the idea that the gamers, especially those that don't follow their narrative, are a bunch of males and some sort of lazy fat bastards. Female gamers don't exist, or if they do exist, they have to comply with what feminism says and everything. And there are women that just want to play their games and have fun. Yep. And a huge chunk of gamers don't give a fuck about social justice in gaming. They want to have fun with their games. Whatever is their taste in games, what they like to do, shoot people, shoot zombies, shoot whatever, platforming, visual novels. People want to have fun because people realize that's something fictitious.
Yeah, you're dealing in a fiction. You're not dealing in, some instance where you're just gonna where your job is to just run everybody out. In fact, typically, gaming is a meritocracy, which of course is completely antithetical to current social justice norms, especially those involved with intersectionality. Okay, if you're good at your game and you go play with the other kids and act like at least something resembling a human being, then you're welcome. If you want to shit talk, expect to take it. Okay, if you don't like the shit talking, then stay the fuck out. That's the way it all works. And if you don't like it, you can move on. If you're going in there as NeoGAF has been for the last few years, uh, you're gonna have major problems. Now, there was an interesting post on Twitter a little while back. Actually, it was just this morning, I believe, wherein some wit, put up a picture of their Alexa standings and quantified that quantified the site is now 18 years old. Yes, that's right. NeoGAF is old enough to vote. And the net result of that was, well, here's why the NeoGAF staff isn't interested in it anymore.
Oh, yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, that went back to Axiom actually being arrested and charged for child porn. And yes, we have his name. I'm not going to give it to you here, but we do have its name. Now, the game you're seeing on your screen here is Yandere School, and this is one of a great number of games that has been put upon in recent years. Well, in recent memory, at least. There's been a lot of games that have been called on the carpet for being misogynist. Blah 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 blah. These games deserve to exist. And this is a game I think I will be covering in some detail at a slightly later time. I don't want to start the game now. But we have any one of a number of games that really do deserve to exist, and NeoGAF would much prefer to see them not. And that,
People don't understand. If you don't like a game, you don't have to play it. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to play it. Just let it go.
here's another game. Here's another developer that seems to get a lot of stick for its games. The Sakura series is firmly mocked in its discussions all the time. However, just so we have this fixed in our little brains, here's what you do if you're looking at a game that you don't like. Okay, you see this button right here, the little X button in the upper right hand corner? Click it. It is that simple. If you don't like it, don't play it. If you like that kind of thing, then by all means, knock yourself out.
People that talk about diversity, they have to understand that there is also such a thing as diversity of ideas.
A diversity,
When diversity of ideas is being censored, there is something wrong.
Okay.
Diversity is not about race, is not about social strata, nothing like this. Diversity is in the realm of ideas. If you cannot accept other people's ideas, then you should not pander yours.
Yes, please. Now, That's where the Apple officer, the Apple executive down in Bogota, last week said that, or a few weeks ago, said that you could have 12 white men, 12 blonde, blue-eyed white men in a room and still be diverse. Why? Because none of those people have had the same life. No two black people have had the same life. No two Asians, no two anything. And if you look at people as individuals rather than collections of identities, then you probably would get that. You'd
Yes.
understand this thing. And that's I think, the biggest failing of social justice and intersectionality. There are people right now there's a professor that's currently demanding that all students be, because enough females under her tutelage have not expressed a firm attitude about protesting for social justice, that they can't that they need more training in intersectionality. No, they don't. They need the freedom of ideas, and that is the sort of thing that NeoGAF had a real problem with. They got tired of the uppity gamers. They got together with a bunch of folks, launched this "gamers are dead" thing, and then watched Gamergate rip them a new ass. Okay,
And
but
in the tiny echo chamber, they eventually started to eat each other.
well, they're certainly eating each other now. But yeah, when the Gamergaters decided to protest, which they're not allowed to do, but somehow NeoGAF and its cronies are, then what? The hypocrisy, just the layer after layer of hypocrisy, moral grandstanding, and everything. NeoGAF needed to die. And this is, in my mind, this is probably the best way for it to have done so. Not with a whimper, but with a huge bang and a nice fat bonfire for us to cook the hot dogs on. Remind me, I gotta get the grill attachments out so we can put burgers on that fire.
Burgers are good.
Well, somebody actually made the claim that we were just dancing, that we were going to the trouble of strutting about dancing on the platform. I don't see a platform. I see a great big bonfire. And the Gamergaters were too busy right now for, roasting the marshmallows, and because that would be a waste of a perfectly good bonfire if you didn't. I mean, please.
Of course.
It's a perfectly good bonfire. You might want to eat. Let's make some s'mores, guys. Come on. Okay. There are some websites that are currently that have invited NeoGAF refugees. They're referring to them as refugees at this point.
Refugees. It's hilarious.
Giant Bomb has said openly that they were accepting NeoGAF refugees. There's quite a few others. There are a couple of scam sites up that are doing the same thing. Oh yeah. And in fact, we've been seeing over the last few days a bunch of people that are actual accounts that have been spamming for, have been spamming for a website that hands out Twitch followers, or not Twitch followers, Twitter followers. Okay, and some of these people are people I actually know. And they went and joined this new forum to keep up, and all of a sudden, poof. Okay, one last thing before we sign off, Mr. Malcap. I don't care if you did it or not. Frankly, you did enough other things to make me want to not like you. Okay, and no, I don't. I've never actually liked you. Thank you, by the way, for pre-blocking me before we'd ever had a chance to have a chat. I appreciate that. Pretty sure Randy Harper will not spread for you because you used her block bot. Okay. There
is a note saying.
Hey, man.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
All right. The game developers don't like you. The publishers don't like you. The reviewers, like myself, really don't like you. And the people from Gamergate, while you may discuss them a large number of us to a very large degree, we're just gonna be okay. We're just gonna be okay that you're not gonna be a thorn on our sides anymore. Okay, that's it. Everybody was talking
You
about
reap,
best day ever
you reap
yesterday.
what you sow.
You do indeed.
You
You
reap
made
what
the
you
bed.
sow.
You made the bed. You lie in it. Okay, whether you're guilty or not is irrelevant. The fact is that you created this monster and then expected it not to bite you. Bad plan, boss. Bad plan. Just no, don't do that. That's why freedom of speech is so important, folks. If you have a white, it actually would have freedom of speech on NeoGAF would have actually future-proofed the site. The site, he could have been accused of what the hell ever. He could have signed it over to somebody else or taken the $10 million deal that he was offered a little while back, and he could have been accused of anything, and you would have had a fight between one side and the other on the site. But ultimately, he'd still have somebody to sit there. He'd still have people to be posting, and that's the end of it. He dug his own grave, shot himself in the ass, and now his career is going to sleep there, and probably permanently.
Yeah.
Have fun being if she is doing you false, Mr. Malka. I'm going to say have fun with the ugly side of feminism, because the chances that you are going to you're going to get off scot free on this just went to zero. Enjoy. Anything else from you, Kitty? Kitty?
Yeah, sorry.
Anything else from you?
No. You really ended on a very good note.
Okay. So, might want to think about sucking up the MRAs there. They might actually help you get out from under it at this thing if it's false. If not, they're going to throw you the wolves just like the other side did. All right. Till next time, be safe, folks. Be sane, if possible. And maybe
Let's make games fun again.
Maybe without NeoGAF, games might get more fun again. Ooh,
yeah.
Or at least we'll get a little less feminist protein in our gaming diets. That'll be good. See ya.
See ya.